I want to use the market example. When you go to the market in Ghana, there's no price. It doesn't cost 300 CDs. It costs 300 CDs for you. Right. But for me, it might cost 250. For my man, it might cost 150 because he's able to negotiate, right? So I want you to think about this idea around the repatriation industry like the market. The value is what you pay.
What is the minimum amount, a healthy minimum amount someone single should have in their bank account before considering even relocating?
Okay, so I think there's a formula. Yeah. If you're no longer working and you're just living off savings, and you're, middle age, around 50, and you just want to stay here for the rest of your life. You don't plan on working. You don't want to open a business. You just want to live off your savings. You probably need a couple $100,000.
Right.
To just stay and not do anything.
That means you don't have no
you have no source of income. You literally just have your savings.
Can I ask you this question? I've had a lady send me a message saying, hey, I have $6,000 in my bank account and I want to repatriate to Ghana.
Tell her don't do it.
Really?
Tell her don't do it.
Why?
Reconsider. Read some literature on the subject. I beg. Listen, $6,000, that's all.
Yeah.
Come on, man. That's $6,000. Like, you'll be able to find a place, you'll be able to fly here, you'll be able to arrive, but I don't know what you're going to eat after 3 months.
Oh, Lord.
It's just not enough, bro. The country's not, it's expensive. I'm not telling, like, I talk to people when I tell them, don't do it. It's not enough.
Hello guys, and welcome back again to another amazing episode. And this is the Diaspora transition episode. I know you guys have been missing the podcast. Keep asking, where's Captain Hayford? I'm here, right? I was behind the scenes, still making sure Webnation has videos for you guys. But we have a reoccurring guest. Today will be his third time on the podcast. Our first podcast we did is over 600,000 viewers. You guys loved him so much. We did another one which is over 100K, and I'm bringing him back for the third time. Now, there's someone who has been on the continent for over a decade, built multiple businesses, and our previous guest, we spoke about how to be a successful business owner here in Ghana, because there's different type of system. You're coming from the West, it's a whole different system, and here in Ghana is a different system. How do you understand the system here and use it to your advantage? He has done that and built multiple business. So I wouldn't bring him back. Let's speak about that. So without further ado, Diallo Sumbry.
Mr. Hayford, we're back again.
Welcome. Third time. This is the charm, right?
Yeah,
welcome back.
The charm. Thank you.
People are watching you for the first time. They may not know who you are. So please briefly introduce yourself to the people watch.
I say Aquaba, welcome. If this is your first time seeing me on this channel or seeing interviews of mine, my born name is Diallo Sumbry. My stool name is Nana Kwabena Duku the First, and Kosohani of Yamebetre in Akuyapim North. I'm a 100% full-blooded born Black American who repatriated to Ghana 10 years ago and had an incredible opportunity to assist the country in the creation of the Year of Return. I'm a business owner here in Ghana. I'm a member of the community, and I'm an all-around advocate for people of African descent who believe they want to relocate or visit the African continent. I think I can sum it up like that. Yeah. I'm a husband, I'm a father, I'm a grandfather, I'm a son, all of those beautiful things.
And the CEO of what you've done with your tourism company is really incredible. You brought thousands of people to the continent. Can you speak about that a bit, and then we can just jump?
Well, that's kind of how I got here. That's where I started at with tourism, with the Year of Return, bringing groups, and we've grown to have this niche of managing large groups pretty well. Mm-hmm. So recently, our largest and most recent large group of 500 people in January.
Wow. How'd it go on a trip?
Yes.
Interesting.
One time. 500 people. 500 people, you don't move 500 people around Ghana every day, everywhere. Mm-hmm. but we did have an incredible opportunity to move 500 people at one time to Cape Coast and back, which is
How many VIP buses was that?
that was crazy. It's like, I think we had like 10 buses, an ambulance, a couple of coasters, a couple of Prados and V8s and motorcycles.
That's the thing.
Yeah, it was
Incredible.
it was very interesting.
So I mean, look. You've brought so many people to Ghana, African Americans. Some came as a tourist and stayed, I suppose. Some came, tried to stay, and then they failed and had to go back to the US. What has been the thing that people don't get that keep failing them?
I think it depends on the person, right? I think there are so many different instances why people leave. Some of which have to do with just culture, understanding the culture. I often tell people when I work with people to help them move that my first job is to talk you out of it. First thing I want to
Why
do
do that?
in my initial consultation, I want to try to talk you out of it. Because if I can talk you out of it, or just without your visit, without your exploration, if I'm able to explain to you all of the things that may not go well and all of the challenges and the problems that we have, and if you begin to lose some level of enthusiasm before you even start, then you should stay because you ain't going to make it. So if I could talk you out of it before you even get here, that's a sign that this may not be the right thing for you.
Right.
And I was in a conversation the other night, and people who have a choice to be here or not have chosen this time and time again every time they run into a challenge or issue that could potentially make them want to move back home. So there's something that still
makes people choose to be here, right? Especially if you don't have to. Then you're still choosing this for whatever reason that you may have over leaving to do something else.
That's very interesting. Let's speak about, you mentioned you were one of the people behind the engineering of Beyond a Year of Return. It was a great initiative by the old administration. We brought in so many Americans to the continent. And with this podcast and how I speak to a lot of people, we will begin to hear words like, this is just a cash grab or money grab movement, and it's really not for diasporans or Americans to return home. What will you say to allegations like that?
Well,
yeah.
So let me try to answer this in a couple of ways.
Right.
So number one, I'm going to say that for people of African descent, African Americans coming back to Africa, whether it's Ghana, Nigeria, Tanzania, whatever, in some ways, whether you like it or not, you are going to be considered the grassroots, ground level stimulus package. No, whether you like it or not, that's how you're going to be looked at. And a part of it is because of us and how we come, because we care.
Okay.
So questions that I get when people come is, well, how much should I tip? What kind of help do people need? What should I do, right?
Yeah.
And if you've been longing to come to a place for so long and then you finally get there, you're going to be open in a different way, right? So part of it is that we come and we're open and we're emotionally connected and we're tied. So it's just like, right? I'm like, this is what I have to offer, right? This is what I have to offer. On the other hand, I think that some of it is research and development.
Okay, expand on that.
So I just think that we're probably farther away than we could be from any realistic, seamless, working, measurable relocation, repatriation policy, legislation, or, act or plan that will work. Because I think we're still in the research and development phase, right? Major companies spend millions of dollars on research and development
And it takes years.
And it takes years for them to get their products, to get their services to the market that they feel where they feel they found their niche.
Yeah.
And in some ways, I think we're still in the research and development phase.
Really?
I think, yeah, even after 10 years, it's
how many years now? It's been six years since.
Yeah, but so we're talking about government, right? And who can honestly 100% fully trust any government or politician where you're pretty much making rules and laws over a 4-year period. You're trying to do what you can and get enacted what you can while you're in office, right? Previous government did have 8 years, right, to do and to try to do some of their things that they could do. But it's like you're a politician. Like recently, President Muhammad talked about this Homeland Return Act.
Right.
They've been talking about the Homeland Return Act for about 5 years from the previous administration. They've been talking about this thing forever. We're going to bring back the right of abode. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. Nobody knows what they're doing. Everybody's just trying to figure out something to do. Everybody's trying to figure out what could work. Maybe I'll try this. Maybe I'll try that. No one knows. Anybody that tells you they absolutely know what they're doing with regards to creating a space for integrating people of African descent into the African continent is lying. Ghana has a diaspora integration policy that they enacted during the last government, a legislation, a policy. People are not like addressing the diaspora based on who they are. The needs of a historical diaspora, someone like me, which would be considered a foundational Black American, right? Somebody who was born in the U.S., both parents born in the U.S. We're going to have different needs traveling and reintegrating into a society than a first or second or third generation Ghanaian. Our needs are going to be different. Our perspective is going to be different. So if you're truly, 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 truly welcoming people home, then you'd make a space for them. You'd make a bed for them. You'd spend your time and energy even consulting maybe some of the right people who are already on the ground, right? To say this is kind of what our people are looking for. So I just feel like it's research and development. And at this point, I don't necessarily want to say we're beating a dead horse, but it's just like, I mean, this president has about 2 more years, and then the next person is going to do something, and then the next person is going to do something. So it's like, you kind of got to find your way. You're on your own.
I like that. And you are someone who've been to multiple African countries, seen the system, and tried to work with several governments, not just Ghana, if I'm not mistaken. Do you believe there's any other African country out there who has made provisions for African Americans better than Ghana has made?
From my research and information, no.
So Ghana is still the best out there.
I would say that Ghana is probably... Ghana has done it the longest. So I think it's also important to understand history that African Americans have been in Ghana since independence. President Kwame Nkrumah had historical African American figures on his cabinet. He consulted them. He spent time with them. So, where we've just passed Marcus Garvey's birthday, the Black Star and the flag. Like, Ghana has this long-standing relationship with people from the diaspora. Can Ghana do better? Yes. It's an English-speaking country. They're very familiar with the diaspora. The year of return, right? The horses are out the gate. Nothing's going to slow down. People are still going to come, no matter what happens, no matter bad or good.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to come to Ghana, right? So now the government really has to figure out what they're going to do, what they want to do.
What do they need?
Yeah, and I don't really see... I think part of the challenge is I don't see government really dealing with the historical diaspora, and specifically that have been here on the ground and that may understand some of the challenges and the needs. So you have people who've been here 30 years, 20 years, 10 years. Let me use me as an example. They're not leveraging me. I've been here. I've integrated into the community. I've integrated into society. Nobody's knocking on my door asking me questions. Hey, can you fill out this survey?
Why do you think that is? Why do you think that is? Hey Web Nation family, I have some exciting news. First of all, I want to say a very big thank you because our trip to South Africa this November is almost fully sold out. We are incredibly grateful to everyone who trusted us to experience South Africa with Web Nation. I'm excited to announce that we are officially launching our Ghana Sankofa Homecoming experience for 2027. For the past few years, you've watched incredible stories on this channel. Stories of people who left the United States to other parts of Africa, who bought land, started businesses, reconnected with their roots, and built a brand new life in Africa. But now, it's your turn. We are launching a 14-day experience through Ghana, designed to help you experience Ghana in a more meaningful way. This isn't your typical vacation. It's an opportunity to experience the powerful and rich history of Ghana. This trip will give you the opportunity to immerse yourself in the authentic Ghanaian culture, connect with local entrepreneurs, explore real estate and other investment opportunities available here in Ghana. Whether you've been dreaming about visiting Africa, reconnecting with your heritage, or simply visiting Africa for the very first time, this trip is for you. And to make it easier to join us, all you need to do is to secure your spot with just a deposit. Then you have more than 11 months to pay the remaining balance through a very flexible installment payment plan. Click the link in the description or scan the QR code on your screen to secure your spot now, and let's welcome you to Ghana. You've watched the stories on Web Nation. It's your time to live your own. Now, let's get back to the video.
I think it's the pressure of governing. I think you only got 4 years to make something happen. A lot of things here are event-based, so it's like you gotta, if it's not an event, then it's not cool, it's not popular.
Right.
I think there are a number of reasons why people aren't making more solid efforts. And then, you know, once you get appointed to a particular position, a ministry, or whose job it is, then you're getting pressure from a lot of people. You're getting ideas from a million directions, right? So people, I just, like I said, I just think it's research and development. I think it's still fairly new. Because what we're talking about is creating a system for seamless integration of people of the African diaspora to make their way into this society if they choose, right? Now, if that's what we're talking about, and we know that Ghana has a lot of broken systems, then I just think it's systemic, right? Like, there's still open gutters. Look at the roads. Look at these other things that are broken that need to be fixed. So you can't build a stable house on a weak foundation. So everything is going to have its challenges.
The whole idea, you know, is to bring our brothers in the diaspora to come build African Ghana with us. I mean, are we supposed to build a paradise so they walk into? No, but that's what I'm saying. The inception of Year of Return is to bring back the intelligence, the brain drain that has happened over centuries, so they come, you know, we build together as a family instead of walking into a completed building. Just say it.
I guess that's what it was about. I think it was a start. Like, I don't know that much thought. Well, I can say that much thought went into it, but how do you implement it? Like, how do you implement that idea? There are actors along the way that I can say I believe were truly sincere about welcoming the diaspora home. But I think it's the how that's been a challenge. I think it's the how that's been a challenge. There are some people that I would say are genuine in what they want and what they need. But when you say the government and like when you give it this broad, it's kind of hard.
Okay, let's bring it down to what you personally have done within your own establishment, your tourism business, to kind of mitigate that problem where people have no idea what to expect coming here in the first place. And when they come here, how to reduce the level of failure if they decide to stay. What have you done within your own structure?
Well, I think one of the first things that we suggest is that people come for a visit, number one. So we help people repatriate to Ghana, okay? In my initial repatriation consultation, one of the first things I say is my job is to try to talk you out of it. And if I can't talk you out of it, that means that you've decided this is something that you really want to do. So now my next job is to provide a certain level of guidance, commitment to you to kind of help you see it through. So we have something called first 30 days. So we suggest people come for 30 days. And over the course of that 30 days, it's a structured 30 days where you're moving about different parts of the society. You're visiting grocery stores, you're visiting malls, you're looking at land, you're looking at property, right? And we do some of that with our protective bubble around you. Because you might not know how hard Ghana is as long as you're under my protection.
Right, because of the systems you've built.
Exactly. Now, if I remove some of that, just so you can feel and see some of what you may have to deal with when you move here on your own, now you get a feel and a picture for what Ghana may feel like for you. And then I would suggest, listen, if you don't like the way this feels, then you don't ever want to have to do that. So now maybe I can help you find some help while you're here.
Right.
I can help you find a host. I can help you find an assistant. I can help you find people that we've trained who might possibly be there with you to help you along the way. Right? Sometimes it's as simple as people understanding prepaid versus postpaid. Many things in the West are postpaid.
Right.
At the end of the month, you get your bill. You pay your lights, you pay for your water bill, you pay for your internet, and then it's on to the next month. As opposed to having somebody check your meter every day to see how much ECG that you've used.
And the cash system.
Right, and the cash system. And if the app is down and you can't do it through your Momo. So what happens if you got lights out? Let's say your ECG runs out, right? And MTN is down.
Right.
So you ain't got no network and you ain't got no Wi-Fi.
Right.
Now you got to go out on the street and find a vendor. And if it's 11 p.m., depending on your neighborhood, you might not. So you might have the resources to still pay your ECG bill and this, but what about the systems? But you got to sleep in the dark because the network is down.
Right.
And you can't access the network. The app is not working. The vendor's closed. Those are very simple things that if no one ever explains that to you, if you don't know that, and then you move here, imagine if you have a young child.
Right.
Right?
Or
Imagine
even if you have a medical condition.
or you have a medical condition, or if you have an elder parent.
Right.
Or hell, you just paid your money and you want to be comfortable. So there are things that people need to know when they move here. They need to be guided well. They need to be instructed. And then you have to let people have some experience. You have to let people, trial and error.
Yeah,
you got to let people hit a wall sometimes.
I like that. Let's speak with the Americans audience for a second. Those still in the US. Do you think it's still a good idea for them to relocate to Ghana?
So I think in the past, in some of my interviews and conversations, I was big on just like, everybody should come and, move to Ghana, invest in Africa, do this, do that, do that.
Yeah.
And I'm going to say that I still believe that, and I still believe it's not for everybody. However, what I would say now is no matter where you wind up, whether you stay in America, let's say you live in D.C. where I'm from and you move to Oakland, or you're in D.C. and you move to Ghana. What I would tell people is to work on yourself. Work on self-discipline, work on your own goals, work on partnerships, work on leading with love, work on grace, work on all of these things because they're going to follow you no matter where you go. And sometimes we think that moving away is the answer, but whatever was haunting you there, 9 times out of 10 will haunt you here. So while I would suggest that people who are interested in experiencing life outside of the West and who want to be a part of the majority, who want to know what it feels like to wake up and see and be around black people every day, or who wants to know what it feels like to have the freedom to kind of grow your own food and, as they say, you can't be angry in Ghana and just, Ghana's enjoyment and you just want to feel the sun every day. For whatever reasons, I think that you should experience it, but I do think you need help. I do think it's better with guidance.
So people can't watch YouTube videos, binge watch.
YouTube University. Everybody who comes here has done YouTube University.
Yeah. And it's not enough.
No. Nowhere near. Well, because it's different than being on the ground.
Right.
Right? Nothing fertilizes like the footprint. So I even tell people that no matter what I say to you during our conversation. So when I start my consultation, it's an hour, right? Just to be transparent, I charge $199 for my initial 1 hour consultation. And then from that, we create a prescription.
Right.
Because it's not cookie cutter. It's different for everybody.
Right.
Are you moving with a wife? Or are you moving with a husband? Do you have children? Do you have elderly parents? Do you have a pension, right? Do you have savings? Are you coming here looking to create employment? What are your family responsibilities back home? Do you own a home back home? Are you renting a house back home? Are you selling your house? Are you supporting family members back home? How often? So there's a number of things that you have to go through for somebody who's interested in moving here, and a number of things that they have to consider, and it's really based on the individual person. So you have to have that consultation. Like you have to kind of figure out. You can't just do it. Yeah, you have to figure out what this person needs.
Let's talk about this for a second. I've had, so even in the comment section under our video, I think the first video, some people said, why don't Americans get automatic citizenship coming to Ghana, and they have to apply and be vetted to get citizenship? You spoke about it, where we even compared some Lebanese also got citizenship, and you spoke about it. They keep saying that, why don't we get automatic citizenship as Americans, as African Americans, considering the history that we have, right? Why is that not possible? And do you even agree with that?
Well, I mean, for all intents and purposes, if you're a black man like me born in America, you're still an American. And we're still talking about a country with rules and laws that have relationships with other nationalities and other countries. So unless Ghana is willing to find a way to treat black Americans or people of African descent different than everybody else, you're going to be treated as Americans. You're going to be treated as Americans. And it's cool to say, oh, it's our family. It's real cool to say things like bring our kith and kin home and you are welcome. All of those things are cool. But then how do you translate those things in legacy and policy? Right? How do you translate, we want all of you all to come home and we're just going to open up the country, and if you're black, you get to come in for free?
Right.
How does that work?
Right.
Like, what does that look like financially?
I mean,
what does that look like from a safety
right?
purpose? What does that look like from so many different angles?
Right.
How do you just open it up and make it free? Because now, where does even the money come from for the resources that's required to certify the background checks, for the resources that's required to do the work? Is there going to be a whole nother office created? Is there a whole nother department created? Most of the individuals in the Ministry of Interior, Foreign Affairs, Diaspora Affairs, or whichever offices are a part of it, they already swamped with the work that they have to do. So now this becomes an extra task on them. Now, I'm not saying don't do it. I'm just asking you how. What's the process, right? You know, the Honorable Marcus Garvey once said, I don't believe in bringing all black people to Africa because some of them are going to be no good here as they were no good there. And so I don't believe everybody can go, and I don't believe everybody should be able to go. But the question is the who, and then how do you decide the who?
But that upsets Americans, African Americans, when you say that.
Yeah, I mean, I disagree. I disagree with this concept. I do believe that there is this idea around birthright. And I do believe that black people of African descent should have access to the African continent, right? But if we also care about the development of the African continent, then we should want African leaders in African countries to have some rules and regulations about how, when, where we can come, integrate, and become citizens. I think more than it being free, I think what people would appreciate and respect are clear directions. If I go to the Ministry of Interior's website right now, I can apply to be a citizen of Ghana as a member of the diaspora. I can pay 25,000 Ghana cedis. I can upload all of my documentation that's listed there that says it's required. So I could have fulfilled all of those requirements right now.
Okay.
It's
but
open.
That doesn't guarantee anything.
Well, my point is, if you have this application open online, and I can go fill it out, where's the follow-up? Where's the instructions? Where's the thing that says it's going to take a 6 to 8 week period, wait for us to review, then we'll get back to you? Like, why can't someone say we're going to do one diaspora citizenship conferment every quarter, and we're going to cap that at 500 people? That's 2,000 people that could come here and become citizens, and the application will open on the first Monday of the first quarter. It will close on the second Monday of the second month of the second quarter. It's going to take.
You're saying there's no information on the website like that.
What I'm telling you is the follow-up is systemic. You have to have a system for something like that that makes it clear for everybody. So now everybody can just go apply, follow the rules, and do it. But it doesn't work that way. You apply, you wait. You might get a call. Maybe it'll happen this day. Maybe it'll happen that day. So it's not clear. And I think people would probably appreciate a clear road, even if they had to pay, because now you can plan. But if I got to pay a higher expense and I can't plan, I can't put it on my calendar, I can't schedule it, I just kind of got to wait for you to decide when you're going to do it. Now it puts me in a bad situation.
Right.
So I really think people would appreciate the ability to be able to plan more than they would the idea that it should be free and I shouldn't have to apply. I mean, now with the e-visa, Ghana has some of the most expensive visas to come to Africa.
How much are Americans paying per person?
It's now $260. I think $260, I believe, is the lowest visa cost. But then it's like within 5 days, you know, when you want it in 24 hours, if you want it in 48 hours, then the prices goes up to like $700-something. I forget the exact cost.
Right.
It used to be $60 at the embassy in Washington, D.C., then you pay for shipping, you know, to get your passport back. But then a report just came out that for 5 years, people were stealing money at the embassy. So it's like, you know, it's expensive. It's expensive. It's just the way it's not cheap to get here, and it's not cheap to stay here. It depends on how you want to live.
Do you know, I got the opportunity to actually know how much Americans are spending on average to come to Africa.
What do you mean by that? What do you mean by how much they're spending to come?
Yeah, I mean, example, a trip to a couple from the US to South Africa for, let's say, 2 weeks. They spend anywhere from $10,000 to $12,000.
Including
That's
plane tickets.
economy. Economy. So you're looking at business class, probably double than that. And I know you know that already.
Plane tickets average $1,200 to $2,500,
Right,
depending
economy.
on the season. That's just the plane ticket.
Right.
It costs money. It's not. So those who are coming are those who can afford it or who've made a way.
Right.
We don't know if it's your hard-earned cash or a credit card, but you figured out a way.
Right.
Somehow, one way or another, you figure out a way to manage the cost to get here.
Let's speak about what you've done over the years. You know, those who knows what you've done, your portfolio. Those who don't, let's just break it down from the very beginning. What did you start doing? Those that you can share, right? What the reason why I'm asking you this question is to help people understand with patience everything you want to do is possible here in the continent.
I think part of it is finding your team and finding the right tribe. A lot of it has to do with perseverance. A lot of it has to do with persistence. I mean, and then a lot of it has to do with the ability to make the mistakes, own the mistakes, try to fix them, and move forward. So, I mean, I have some partners and I have some interest in Oasis Beach Resort, which is a hotel in Cape Coast, and we have a few other hotels in the city. I've been able to build this community center in Yame-Betchere, and we have another guest house there that we're
It's
completing.
complete now.
Yes, community center is complete. We just hosted the students for an end of the school year program. I did a small fundraiser for it. And we are now hosting all of the students for a 2-week summer camp. So now it's becoming to, get into full play. The community's beginning to use it. They're beginning to see it. We have another guest house. I mean, I don't know, like, when people ask me, are you successful? I'm like, well, I'm still in the journey.
Right.
It's like, well, I haven't won the race yet because I'm still racing. But I think that I'm still running.
Right.
But I think that a big part of it has to be like accountability. You got to have a team. You got to have some perseverance, and you got to get in the fight. You got to get in the fight. So, I mean, I think some of the things that we've been able to do, could we have done more? I think so. Definitely. I think we probably could have been able to do a little more than where we are right now. But I still think it's early in the game.
A lot of people are saying the repatriation industry is getting expensive. And so to speak, they are criticizing, that's your business, right? They are criticizing your business that you're just milking so much money from your own people. And people are building, Americans or African Americans are building business that is taking advantage of other African Americans.
You know what's crazy?
Yeah.
Is that number one, you said the repatriation industry. So I didn't even know that it had become an industry. Right? I think that what happens when people come here is that so many people have questions about moving here. And some people are forced into it. So now you're forced, you kind of forced into becoming this repatriation consultant because you live here and you want to share your experience. Mm-hmm. And then sharing your experience takes time, answering the phone call, answering people questions. So you wind up either creating content, directing people, showing some of the mistakes that you made, how to fix them, mm-hmm. showing people some, certain things to do. Step 1, 2, 3, top 5 things to do when you move to Ghana, those kind of things. So once you begin to do that and then you monetize it and the amount of time that it takes and the amount of people that have questions, it's easy to do. So now you want to start charging people, mm-hmm. right?
Yeah.
This is what I would tell you. The same way that somebody might be criticized and say, oh, the African Americans are taking advantage of the African Americans when they come here because they're charging them this, that, and the third. I want to use the market example. When you go to the market in Ghana, there's no price. It doesn't cost 300 CDs. It costs 300 CDs for you. Right. But for me, it might cost 250. For my man, it might cost 150 because he's able to negotiate, right? So I want you to think about this idea around the repatriation industry like the market. The value is what you pay. So let's say somebody calls and says, somebody contacts me. Right. Like I mentioned, my pricing is pretty much transparent. It's $199 for the initial consultation. It's an hour phone call. I ask you a series of questions, and then I bring you a prescription. Mm-hmm. Now, if you want to move in 6 months, that price might be different than if you want to move in a year. And depending upon what kind of help you need, right? Now, somebody else could charge $5,000 for their call, for their initial repatriation call.
And that's okay?
I'm not going to say it's okay, but what I'm going to tell you is this. If the person mm-hmm. who's paying the money sees the value in paying $5,000 and they pay it, then it was worth it to that person. So then it has to be okay. Because in the market, right, regardless of what you may think the price is or regardless of what the people think the value is, the true value is what somebody's willing to pay. Mm-hmm. So are people in the market 100% wrong for charging somebody 500 Ghana CDs that they're also willing to sell for 100 CDs to not let it walk away? Mm-hmm. I don't think the problem is the cost. I think the problem is the service. Because people are choosing to pay the cost. Mm-hmm. Now, what's interesting is I met a gentleman here who used a different repatriation company, and that company had promised him citizenship and a whole bunch of other things. And I happened to see he had a copy of his application and contract. So I happened to see the cost he paid was like $4,950. He didn't get the citizenship. He was upset. He felt like the person kind of took advantage of them. And I kind of tried to help him. And eventually I kind of had to let him go because I'm like, listen, you spent this money already. And I can't help you without charging you again.
Right.
I can't help you without, because it takes time, it's resources, it's money, it's a part of my business. So I just tried to advise him. Now, what I think was wrong is that he paid this money and didn't get his services.
Right. Ask for a refund.
Right?
Yeah.
But when you ask, because what is overcharging? Like, and who decides what the cost should be?
So the whole thing is just like a big arts piece and they just buy the price.
It's Art Center. It's the Repatriation Art Center. It's Makola. Right? It's every market in Ghana. You come into the marketplace shopping for what you need. Mm-hmm. You look around for the different people and you negotiate.
Right.
Now, if you just stop at the first stall you see and then pay the first price you get, then is that the seller's fault or
your fault? Should
the client educate themselves more about what it is that they're looking to purchase? Now, I do think that I'm sure that there are some people taking advantage because they don't really have the information. They don't have the experience and the information. I can go on ChatGPT and say, give me the top 10 things that people should know when they move into Ghana and then give somebody a list. But is that real guidance? Is that real help?
Right. Can I ask you this question? I've had a lady send me a message saying, hey, I have $6,000 in my bank account. And I want to repatriate to Ghana.
Tell her don't do it.
Really?
Tell her don't do it.
Why?
Reconsider. Read some literature on the subject. I beg. Listen, $6,000, that's all.
Yeah.
Come on, man. That's not, okay, let's break it down.
Well,
let's break it down. Let's break it down. $6,000. So let's say this $6,000 is, let's give it a rate of 11.
Okay.
So we're at 66,000 Ghana cedis.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're at 66,000 Ghana cedis. And this is your savings. This is it. You ain't got no pension.
No,
You don't have
there's
nothing else
nothing
coming
coming in.
right?
Yeah.
You got to figure out how to make some money.
Right.
Okay, so let's say you're going to take a year rent. And I'm going to give you a neighborhood of, let's say, 1,000 cedis.
Right, a month.
A month that you find a safe place to stay. And you got to pay for a year.
But is that realistic though? For
Yeah,
a standard
1,000
that American will stay in for 1,000 CD?
You can find you might be in Kasawa, you might be somewhere in Malam,
Right.
or somewhere back in La Paz,
Right.
but you can find 1,000 CDs. You can find,
Okay, let's just use 1,000.
you can find 1,000 CDs
Sure.
for a 1-bedroom self-contained, right?
And you have to
because
pay
you're thinking like,
12
oh,
months in
Americans
advance.
have these kind of standards.
Right.
You don't know how that person was living in the U.S.
Right.
Because if you only got $6,000 saved in your account and you're ready to move, that means that you obviously you weren't staying on Park Avenue,
Right.
You wasn't staying on on
Got
K
it,
Street,
yeah.
DC. So
Yeah.
let's take that 66,000 Ghana CDs and break it down. I'm saying 1,000. That's 12,000 already gone.
Right.
So now you got how much left? You got 54,000 Ghana CDs left. Monthly, your transport, your ECG, your feeding, let's say your data, your Wi-Fi, whatever it is.
Well, including plane ticket, by the way.
You said,
Including plane ticket.
oh, come on, man. Let's just end the conversation. Let's just end the conversation.
This is no joke.
All your money
This
spent.
actual emails that we receive.
All your money is spent already. That's 6,000.
Yeah.
That's 6,000. Like, you'll be able to find a place. You'll be able to fly here. You'll be able to arrive. But I don't know what you're going to eat after 3 months.
Oh Lord,
It's just not enough, bro. The country's not. It's expensive. I'm not telling. Like, I talk to people when I tell them. I tell them, don't do it. It's
So
not
wait,
enough.
What is the minimum amount? A healthy minimum amount someone single should have in their bank account before considering even relocating. to
Okay,
Ghana?
so I think there's a formula.
Right.
I think that if you're considering relocating to Ghana and you did something extremely, extremely smart, like booked a call with me, right?
Yep.
If you did something like that, you would have a formula
Right.
that you could work to. And based on your temperament, based on your ideas, we would create a plan to ensure that by the time you move, you had somewhere for 6 to 12 months of your living
that you can afford
expenses
to pay for.
available waiting for you.
Right.
This is after you've paid. Because when you come into Ghana, you can help somebody find a place, get them in there for a year,
Right.
help them understand what their monthly budget is going to be. But you can't control their spending habits.
Yeah.
So they can come with this good idea. So my point is, I don't know that there is a set amount, but I would say if you're somebody who's no longer working,
Well, go on. Yeah.
if you're no longer working and you're just living off savings, just savings, and you're, middle age, around 50, and you just want to stay here for the rest of your life, you don't plan on working, you don't want to open a business, you just want to live off your savings, you probably need a couple $100,000
Right. Right.
to just stay and not do
That
anything.
means you don't have no.
You have no
income,
source of
nothing.
income. You literally just have your savings.
Then, if that amount is what is required, then aren't they better off retiring in the U.S.?
Well, in the U.S., it might cost them a little more than that.
Really?
If all they have is their savings, then yes. But see, if most people are staying in the U.S. that way, they're probably going to eventually get another job. They're going to find another source of income.
Interesting.
So the difference is you can move with that amount of money in Ghana and maybe have a better quality of life, but you have to be directed. You're not going to get that eating at eating at Sky Bar. You're not going to get that, going to Kozo every Friday. You're not going to be able to save that money. Now, if you're going to the market, you're eating fruits in the morning. If you're eating local food, if you're growing your own food, raising your own food, if you're budgeting, if you're being careful the same way the rest of us have to live, then you can manage it. But you just can't manage it trying to live, a different lifestyle.
So let me tell you what happens. Actually, people come here with maybe $20,000 on a holiday, and while
They come
they're
blow
here-
a bag.
Right? They think everything is cheap, right? Until they relocate here, and they want to live that coastal life every Friday. and they realize they ran out of funds in a very short period of time.
Because at Kozo, you're going to pay $20 for a 4-piece sushi roll.
Right.
And
Yeah.
it's
And you got to eat. You got to eat at least 5 plates of that. You spend about $100 for one person. So you're saying these people, right, shouldn't try living that life if they don't have how much in their bank account?
I would say, $50,000 is a good number for somebody who's
start.
considering relocating, right? If you have $50,000, you may be able to do it with 30, 40.
Right.
Like, I don't like providing cookie cutter solutions, right? I don't like providing cookie cutter solutions because people have different lifestyles. They have different
Interests
temperaments. They
and
have different
spend- yep,
needs. So
discipline.
nobody should prescribe. I don't think that there's anybody that should prescribe to any standard mode. You should have this amount of money.
Yeah.
You may not need that much. You may need more.
Right. True.
So one of the things that I say in my book, A Smart Ghana Repatriation Guide, is the first chapter. And one of the first lessons that I do in my repatriation course, because I've created a repatriation course for people, is first one is knowing your why. So you got to know why you're here.
Why you want to come to Africa?
You got to know why you're here. Why is this part of your life? You should explore your why. You should explore what is the reason why you want to move here. What is the thing that you want to do? And you shouldn't do it unplanned. You should, as much as possible, you shouldn't have too many surprises. If you're planning yourself out, moving from the U.S. to Ghana, you got to exercise some discipline. You got to trust your gut instincts. A lot of people come here and then they wind up getting scammed and they wind up getting cheated because it's like, so you'll come and you'll see me as an African American trying to help you, but then you'll meet a local Ghanaian and you'll think that this person knows more about living or moving around Ghana than me because they're Ghanaian.
Right. I mean, that's a natural thought process. They've been living here for
and then
centuries.
you come back and say you got scammed. Can I help you get your money back?
Well, yeah. Well, I think this is it. If you should get the right person, the right Ghanaian who has your best interest at heart, usually you would get better deal out of that from going through your
Not
own
necessarily.
African-Americans. You don't think so?
Not at all.
Really?
Not at all. I absolutely do not think that
it's
just
because of the trust factor, or what is it?
I don't like. It's very hard to take this idea around repatriating and its cost and guidance and its cost and say that this is what the value should be, right? I've been here for 10 years, a little longer than 10 years.
Right.
I don't know many other African Americans who came here and made their way to the president's office and helped this country do something extremely big and have had the experiences that I've had, not only in terms of welcoming groups, bringing large groups of people, bringing small groups of people, traveling around the country, being installed as a chief, living in the community. I don't know that many people that have had this wealth of experience, right? So technically, based on the value that I bring to the table, I can, if I wanted to, charge more money for different things because I know what my history says. I know what my CV says. I know what my resume says.
But then it ended up becoming only premium because you kind of premium, right? I mean, look, these celebrities you're bringing to Ghana and whatnot. What is the name of this basketball? They came with their whole family.
That was
that
was a different situation. That was a totally different situation.
But he came through you, yes?
Yeah, you're talking about Dwayne Wade and Gabrielle Union.
Yeah.
So that was a different situation because they were here for 2 days.
Okay.
They came for 2 days. Gabrielle Union decided to celebrate her 50th birthday in Ghana. And they were here for 2 days.
Right.
And as a part, but because they're such mega stars, it felt really big, the fact that they came to Ghana. And it just happened to land in my lap because of a friend of a friend.
Right.
Because a good friend of mine is a good friend of theirs. And they was like, yo, we want to do Ghana. Do you know anybody in Ghana? And he was like, Diallo.
Yeah.
So it's different. It's not like, you don't see me in the Hamptons with them. You don't see me at the front row. Well,
at the front row of the Knicks. I see you in the sections.
When we out, of course. When you outside and you're enjoying, of course, because it's the most comfortable.
Yeah.
Why would I be standing there in general population with somebody stepping on my shoes?
Yeah, no.
and bumping me and spilling stuff on me.
Yeah.
You want to be comfortable. I need to stand next to a fan or AC and an ice bucket, cold drinks.
Let's talk about all the kind of different type of clients that has come through your business. I know you've had the top tier, and then you've had all kind of people. Let's speak about levels so people watching actually understand that maybe this is not, it's something that they can actually
So
afford.
our minimum is 1.
Right.
So sometimes when people see that we host and bring large groups of people, they think that that's all we do. But we also get a lot of solo travelers. Our minimum is 1. Everything we do is 100% curated to the particular individual. We rarely offer standardized trips. So the places that we offered standardized itineraries and trips to are Cameroon, Sierra Leone, Nigeria, Senegal, and countries outside of here. But because we're based here in Ghana, we're able to kind of ask questions like, what kind of experience do you want to have? If you have to choose between cost and comfort, what would you choose? Right? Do you want to save some money and stay at a guest house or a rented house where we bring a cook and a chef in to take care of you? Or do you want the hotel feeling? Do you want to be able to call room service at 2 a.m? What is the experience that you want to have? Do you want to know what it feels like to take Trocho, to take Uber, to take Bolt, to take an Okada?
Yeah.
Do you want to spend time outside of Accra in a rural area? Do you want to come here for culture? Do you want to come here and be picked up in a G-Wagon at the airport through CIP and only dine the finest steak, lobsters, and coldest champagne on rooftops? What is your reason for coming? What kind of experience do you want to have?
Right.
So as people come, we're able to curate those experiences so that, because it makes a difference when you leave to say, this is exactly what I came here for.
Right.
This is the experience I wanted to have. And then for a lot of people who don't know and they trust us, based on our initial call, we put it together. So let's say you coming with your friends. I just had a group of ladies come. One lady traveled with us to Cameroon in 2022. So then she gathered a group of her friends to come to Ghana to have the Ghana experience. They came for 14 days. Had an incredible time. It was based on my consultation with her. What do you think your friends might want to do? A lot of people, there are a lot of people who will never see the beauty of Nzelezu. They will never get a chance to stay at Blue Moon. They will never go up to Tamale to the Red Clay Studios. They will never see certain parts. A lot of people still don't even go to Akosombo. Like now, more people are starting to go to Akosombo because they got more hotels there and Instagram and right. But 3 years ago, people weren't even going to that. Right? They had just discovered Ada.
Yeah.
So there are so many different parts of Ghana and things to do and see, even in the Eastern region, right? So many different kinds of experiences. So it's like you can actually have it your way. You can kind of have what you want based on the price point that you can afford to spend. There's sometimes we have to tell people, I don't think that we can help you, just based on kind of what they want, right? Whether it's a large group, whether it's a small group, you want to kind of create experiences that people are going to leave with a great feeling, a great taste, and then they're going to go back and tell people, oh, I had an amazing experience with Diallo and the Adinka group, and then they're going to invite other people.
Let's talk about how did you manage to live in Ghana for this long period of time and not just only survive but thrive? What are your mechanisms?
Well, I think staying grounded is very important. Nowadays, I spend probably more of my time than before in Yame in the actual community. And it's not always easy. Let me just be clear.
Right.
Like, I don't want to present as if there aren't challenges, as if even me for 10 years that I don't have challenges, that it's been easy and that it's a gravy train and everything is just always all good. It's not. But I believe in perseverance. I believe in manhood, right? I believe in scholarship. I believe in uplift, right? Those are the tenets of my fraternity, Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated, right? It's actually manhood, scholarship, manhood, perseverance, scholarship, and uplift, right? So all of these things that are a part of my life, you got to have the right team of people around you. You got to have vision. You got to understand your why. So remember, I mentioned you got to understand why is it that you're here. What is the thing that you're doing here, and a lot of times that will sustain you.
There's one thing though. You live in a village, right? I would consider you as a multimillionaire, even if you would admit it or not. I know. And you live in a village, right? It's one of your responsibilities, yes. But how many Americans do you say would do what you're doing?
I think those who may be invited to have the experience would do it. I think there are a lot of people that are doing it. They're just quiet about themselves.
Well, I know a few.
I happen to be someone that people know because of the year of return and this, and you become like, once you become a public figure, you can't go nowhere without nobody recognizing you, seeing you. True. So people kind of see you and use you as the voice of the diaspora and people, right? But I think that there are a lot of other people that are having bigger successes than I am, that are living peaceful lives, that are in communities, that are in rural communities, that are not living out loud but have found their way because they came here to get out the way. They came here to just live and to not necessarily have to be counted or to not necessarily report their living. There are a lot of people here who are helping a lot of people quietly.
You should introduce me to some of them. What are some of the biggest mistakes you've seen your people, my people, African Americans make when they are relocating to Ghana?
Well, some of it I think we've talked about. Some of it is lack of preparation. Some of it is lack of preparation. Some of it is emotional intelligence, right? And by emotional intelligence, I mean that you're just too emotional with the reconnection, and you lose sight of reality. You lose sight of the fact that despite your emotional connection or reconnection to the African continent, that it's real and everybody is not going to treat you well and everybody doesn't mean well for you. I think a lot of people want to do it themselves and they don't have to. Getting the right guidance, right? Finding the right group of people to mingle with, to fellowship with, and to get some assistance with regards to what it's like to integrate in society. And then time. Some people move too fast, right? You don't take the time to visit once, twice, 3 times, 4 times. Move around the country a little bit, and then seek advice and then seek guidance from people who've already have those lived experiences.
Land scams remains the most discouraging factor to some Americans considering buying land and relocating to Ghana. What systems have you personally put in place that has helped you, or are you still going through it? And then
well, we just, number one, the easiest thing to do is get a lawyer, and then you help people understand that even getting a lawyer won't save you.
Right.
Like getting a lawyer won't mean you won't have problems, but at least you're protected. So we can kind of help people understand the steps, right? So if you find a piece of land or somebody that has some land, okay, number one, you're going to have to get a survey for the land. Now you're going to have to take that survey to the Lands Commission, and then you're going to have to get that survey cleared to say that there's, nothing listed in the system that says that someone else is owning that land. Then you got to figure out, once you get your indenture, what your agreement is going to be with that person, and you pay that money. Then you got to try to take that indenture and get it registered. So the most that you can do is kind of help people understand the steps, and then help people understand how to protect themselves as they go through the steps. And then the rest is on them. Because there's a million videos about land scams.
Yeah.
It's a million videos on YouTube.
Have you fallen victim to that yourself?
Yeah. No. I have not had the opportunity to learn that lesson.
Right.
Because I see everything as an opportunity. I
Right.
don't really see failures. It's an opportunity if it's a gap. So that's why I said, I haven't had the opportunity to learn that lesson, because it's something that would teach you a great deal. I'm grateful that I haven't had that opportunity.
That's a good answer. Most Ghanaians that I've spoken to, when you mention African Americans in year of return, them coming back home, they raise concerns of increasing prices for them. Real estate.
I'm familiar with the argument.
Right.
Well, I think people need to look around and ask themselves, who is really raising the prices?
Who is really raising the prices?
This is a question. Most diasporans, African Americans that are coming here, are looking for a deal.
Okay.
They're coming here because they don't want to spend that much money. So there are very few, I'm going to say, of all of the people, African Americans, that are coming and buying up all of the apartments and condos in Labone, Cantonments, Ridge, and Osu. I think the majority of those people are coming from the UK. The majority of those people are coming maybe from other places, but it's not a majority African Americans. And then you just kind of got to look at the market in Ghana. Who is coming here in December? Who's spending that money? People may come on vacation, but when you look at those that are moving, a lot of us don't have it like that. Like somebody has to do some data for me as to who's buying these apartments and where they're coming from. How many of these apartments are, you know, somebody
Maybe they know. Comment down if you know.
Somebody's side girlfriend, and you got the big men who,
right.
You know, he got one girl on the 3rd floor, one on the 4th, and one on the 5th.
Yeah,
those are the people that's buying the apartments, right?
You don't think it's
I just think that the majority of African Americans that come here are, number one, a lot of them are retirees.
Mm-hmm. So they depend on the retirement paychecks.
They are retirees, and they're not living in these high-rise buildings. They're not buying these apartments. You have a lot of transient. You have a lot of entrepreneurs. You got a lot of people from around the world, and I think that the easiest thing to do is to put the blame on the diaspora, because it kind of helps to fuel the whole diaspora war thing and say, oh, it's the African Americans that's coming driving the cost up, and these people are going to come and drive the cost up, and pretty soon a local Ghanaian is not even going to be able to afford XYZ. When it's probably more of the Ghanaians in the diaspora who are coming home looking for apartments, places to live, and items that are driving the cost up just as much. So, you know, when people say diaspora, they just loop us all into the same boat, right? And we're not all the same.
Someone brought this up. Sierra Leone. Is it Sierra Leone where African Americans were almost colonized? What country? Is it Libya, Liberia? Liberia. Where they end up.
You should do the history around Liberia and how Liberia was created by freed enslaved Africans. So Liberia was created by freed enslaved Africans who returned back to Liberia from the United States. And when people always say, well, we don't want Ghana and repatriation to Africa to become another Liberia. What happened was there was a group of people who returned and began to look down on the natives and began to treat them bad.
Have you seen that happen in Ghana?
It happens, yeah, but I don't know that people are treating local Ghanaians worse than other Ghanaians treat them. I think that's more about class than it is about ethnicity or, you know, location.
Right.
Because, see, like, I know a lot of African Americans who come here who don't even like the term houseboy, housegirl, because it's so connected to our history and where we've come from in chattel slavery. So they're not even going to use the terms houseboy and housegirl, right? They're not even going to be like, oh yeah, that's my houseboy, that's my housegirl. They might say house help. They're even going to try to define it differently. And then I know a lot of people who will make comments around how they see other Ghanaians treat Ghanaians. I know a lot of people who will make a lot of comments around how Ghanaians treat white people and non-black people versus how they treat their own people. So, like, you see it, but I don't think it's prevalent. I don't think you find a whole lot of African Americans coming over here mistreating Ghanaians. Or talking down on them, or, you know, I don't think that you see it that much. I think that some of the challenges are universal, and I think that a lot of us will come over here and we may mimic some of what we see. Ghana is very classist. It's a very classist society. So the same way that we experience racism in the U.S., I think that some Ghanaians experience class.
Let's speak to some entrepreneurs. Do you think Ghana is still viable for them? I've seen some African Americans came here, started building a resort. You know, Dre, Taylor, you name them. From the outside, it looks like it's a great deal. Probably they are more profitable. I don't know what's happening inside. But do you think Ghana is still the place for you to be profitable, investing heavy? I'm talking about a lot of money, right?
What's a lot of money?
I mean, over $1 million into a kind of project. Do you think is the country that you get your ROI back or? I
do think that if you came to Ghana with $1 million and you made a very smart and intelligent investment, you could get your money back. I think that do not come here with $1 million if you're looking for a short, quick play. If you want to bring $1 million and invest it here, you got to do your market research.
Right.
Like, you got to really understand. You got to kind of understand the culture, depending upon the industry. Because $1 million in the hospitality business, if you're building a hotel or something like that, will go fast. $1 million could go really fast in the agribusiness, you know. So what is your money being used for? How are you, you know, exactly what is it that you're building, and exactly what your expectations are? What is the outcomes that you expect? All of these things are things that you have to take into a high level of consideration before you make an investment. Do I believe that the investment can still be successful and then you can make a return on your money? Yes, 100%. And I think that's going to continue to grow. Like, I don't think that that's going to stop. But I just think that people think it's going to be easy. I think people think it's too easy to do.
Why do you think they get that? Where does that come from? That doing business
because everything in Africa is supposed to be cheap and easy. Like the way the media has portrayed it, you just expect it to be low cost and that it'll come back fine. And you just don't understand some of the challenges that we have here that may even delay or make you have to become really creative in terms of how you manage your business and your staff and et cetera.
I like that. Is there any question that you've always wanted someone interviewing to ask that they never did?
No. Well,
No.
so I turned down a lot of interviews.
Really? Why?
I don't do a lot of interviews. Well, sometimes people have platforms, and I think they may have seen some of my interviews, some of my interviews with you. Oh, let me get this guy on my channel to help boost my channel. So I've granted interviews for people that I've built relationships with, or people that I follow, or people that I feel like tell a good story, people that are good journalists, people that do their homework, people that do their research. And I don't have the desire to be asked any particular question. I'm always interested to see what people want to hear from me about, but I don't have the desire to be asked any specific thing. I am working on another book.
Okay.
My first book is a smart Ghana repatriation guide that I began writing in 2020 during COVID.
How many copies sold so far, if you know?
Man, I don't even know. The way I started this book is I started in the U.S. and I was like, okay, I'm going to go out the trunk. So before I put it on Amazon, let me just make sure I could sell 1,000 copies out of my trunk. Then I sold 1,000, then I sold another 1,000. Then I was like, okay, now let me put it on Amazon. So then I put it on Amazon. The checks that come from Amazon are so small, I barely notice them. People, and I run into a lot of people who buy the book.
Right.
Like, who buy, oh, I read your book.
What are some of the feedbacks you get about the book?
I mean, people love the book. People say it was extremely helpful. I had one guy told me he read it 3 times. He got it highlighted. He got, you know, the pages bent back. He got a bookmark in the book. But my next book is about some of what you've asked me about. It's called The Year of Return and Me. A lucky story about preparation and opportunity. So, like, I've decided to tell my story of my involvement with the Year of Return. I see a lot of people telling their story. When Bozoma St. John went on this One Africa podcast, and she talked about how she helped to increase the visas and kind of began to tell her story. Man, my phone was buzzing. I'm looking at our original Year of Return chat with everybody who was involved with the Year of Return steering committee, discussing the video, like, oh, what is this? She's saying this. And I'm like, and then I had friends calling me like, yo, you know her? She's saying she did the Year of Return. Right. And I'm like, well, first of all, 2 things can be true at once. One doesn't negate the other. I wasn't there with her. I don't know.
You never saw her
we met.
Right.
We met. Right. And we know I have her number. She has my number.
Right.
We know each other. I think she's a lovely person. I think, as a matter of fact, her wedding is coming up here in Ghana soon.
Yeah.
Like, but we met. And she knows when we met. And she knows what was said to each other when we met. Right. And I met her in the CEO of Ghana Tourism Authority's office. So it's like, I don't know what meeting she had with the president, or, you know, what their discussions were, and, you know, the things that she did.
Well, she mentioned she never got paid for all the things
when nobody did. Like, so in my book, I'm going to put a copy of a letter that those of us who served on the Year of Return committee received, kind of a thank you letter. And there was like, here's an honorarium. So people can see the amount. Like, right? And I'm also going to add a number of things like, I'm telling my story. So I encourage everybody to tell their story. And my point in mentioning her was that she's telling her story. Right. She has the right to tell her story as a journalist, as somebody who creates content, you know. And two things can be true at the same time.
True. Yeah.
So she could have done everything.
Let's not take away any credit from those who participated, both the previous administration and...
I want everybody who was involved to tell their story.
Right.
From their view. Everybody should. Because when my book come out, I'm like, a lot of people talk, but I'm just bringing receipts. I'm going to show you some literal receipts.
I won't say you've been mute about your involvement from the very beginning. I won't say that. But you didn't give so much press. Right.
So I have even friends and family who was like, yo, like again, when that Bazoma interview came out, I got some DMs from my people like, yo, I need you to be louder. Right. And I'm like, why? I'm not racing her.
There's nothing wrong with showing the portfolio or the involvements that you have.
It's absolutely nothing wrong with it. I feel like I've talked about it enough.
Right.
I feel like I've mentioned it enough. So that's why I decided to just write the book to kind of put it to bed. Right. Because we're going on the 10-year anniversary of it. So 10 years later, we kind of want to move on to what's next. Right. Everybody can see what the government will and have done. Time is the ultimate truth teller. Right? So the year of return was an incredible idea. I still believe, and I'll say that it is the greatest back to Africa Renaissance movement since Liberia.
I think so.
Since Liberia and Sierra Leone, because the thing about Marcus Garvey is he never made it here. He had the plans, he never made it here, right? So I think it's the greatest since that freed enslaved Africans returned to Liberia and to Sierra Leone. And the horses is out the gate. It's not going to slow down.
Right. Can we speak on what that initiative brought to, first of all, Africa and Ghana, secondly?
Well, I used to say during that time that our job was to shorten the distance. Meaning that Africa was some place that was this mystical place that was so far away for so long for so many people. I remember in 2017 and 18, the conversations that I was having with people were passports versus visa. People didn't know the difference between a passport and a visa.
And who are you having this conversation with?
This is with Black Americans, African Americans who are traveling.
Are you serious?
Some of our people, Americans in general, are probably the least traveled in the world.
Interesting.
Are probably the least traveled. We're traveling a lot more now. People travel to Europe. People travel there. But Africans of means travel a lot. Europeans travel a lot from country to country. So this is 2017, 2018. You know, for people who didn't travel. A lot of people, they got their passport when they come to Africa. They just got the passport when they come to Africa. So I feel like there are, I feel like a lot of people, it opened up a world, right? So when I say we shortened the distance, we just made it more accessible. We helped to move it from the bucket list to the to-do list. It's a big difference between saying, oh, man, I'm going to go to Africa one day before I die. I'm going to go to Ghana too. Yo, I'm planning, making my payments, and I'm going to Ghana next year. Big difference. Big difference. So I think one of the biggest things that we did is shorten the distance. And I think in time, we'll see what exactly that means. But now that we've made it accessible. So for me, it's like you got to put the pill in the applesauce.
Well, what does that mean?
Okay. So if you're giving a child medicine, the child hates the medicine. And they'll spit it out if you give it to them. Right. So you got to give them something sweet and put the medicine inside of it, right? Yeah. And I feel like the year of return in the beginning, because it was a concern I had. I remember having a conversation with my wife, like, yo, the average Black American is not ready. You know, are we leading a group of sheep to the wolves? Because they're going to get eaten alive if they come over here with this level of emotional attachment and just, oh, my brother, my sister. You still got to watch your six, right? You got to keep your head on the swivel. Just because you come into Africa don't mean everybody love you, right? Yeah. But I think something had to happen. So putting the pill in the applesauce means that we can't necessarily, for example, I remember there were some people saying that, 400 years is a hoax. It's been more than 400 years. Why 400 years? Well, because we needed a marketing scheme. We needed a number. We needed something that worked. It don't work if I say 542 years, but 400 looks good on paper, sounds good, rolls off your lips. So when I say you got to put the pill in the applesauce, you can't even tell people you African sometimes. Because I ain't African, I'm American. But the pill in the applesauce is, yo, let's go to Ghana, have a great time, and reconnect with our ancestry. Then when you get here and you feel it and you see somebody that look like you and you experience the vibe, you experience the food, you experience the culture. Now you stuck. Now you want to go to another African country. So when I say put the pill in the applesauce, it's like let us spoon feed you Africa to make it normal. Coming to Ghana and traveling to Africa was not normal in 2018, 2019 for a lot of black people. It wasn't just a normal thing to do. Now it's very normal. Now you see droves and droves and droves of people coming. You saw that the Minister of Tourism just mentioned that, again, for 2025, an increase in arrivals. And that's no small feat from one year to the next year when you have 100,000 more people come to your country. And their drivers are, and the driver is North America. The driver is black people from America that's coming.
As an African American, what do you love the most about living here in Ghana?
And when you say as an African American, why as an African American? Like, why as an African American as opposed to as a
Okay,
black
what would you
man?
identify as? As a person? As a
Right.
Ghanaian?
So
You have a Ghanaian passport now.
yes,
Yes. So okay,
my
as a
fellow
Ghanaian,
Ghanaians.
what do you enjoy the most about living here in Ghana?
You know, for me, there's a number of things. There's the weather. I think that, like, July, August, September, early October, for me is the best part because the weather's cool, and I like it cool.
The
I don't like it too
rain.
hot. After the rain, and it's just cool. I like the freedom. I like the fact that I like the food. I like the people. I'm also here, right? So let me say about that. It gets to a certain point in life where it's not even about what you like about being here. It's just where you are. It's where I've dumped over $1 million into investment into the country. So I am here where I'm supposed to be, right? It's like I'm a king manning my kingdom. So for me, it's not even about what I like being here because I deal with the everyday stress that everybody else deals with. And sometimes it gets on my nerves. Yeah, but when it gets on when you're a king managing your kingdom and there are things getting on your nerves, then you got to figure out how to fix it, or you got to figure out how to avoid it, or you got to figure out, you got to go get a massage, right?
Yeah.
You got to go figure out how to release and then get back to work. So for me, it's not even about, I like being here because of this anymore. I've been here so long and I've been doing it for a while. Now I'm just a king managing my kingdom, creating my legacy. It's just, I'm here.
Yeah, I like that. You mentioned that Marcus Garvey quotes that some Americans or some African Americans shouldn't come to Africa because they are of no use in America.
So where you said they're going to be here?
So let's paint that picture of the person watching or the people who are not supposed to come to Africa or Ghana.
I mean,
Who are these people? What character do they have? What are their traits? What is the thought process of these people who are not supposed to come
think
here?
these are people who are going to come and maybe want to take advantage of the country.
Right.
Obviously, anybody who may have a criminal mindset. I think people who may come in are coming here. One of the wrong reasons that I would come here, I would say, is because you strictly want to take advantage of the fact that
Ghana is hot right now.
that not just that Ghana is hot right now, but you may be able to use and abuse people, right? Because of the difference in cost and the dollar versus this. I think for people who are coming here, like for anything that's not righteous, for anything that's not harmony, and for anything that doesn't have a good intention, it's the wrong people. And I think what Marcus Garvey was talking about is in terms of him trying to bring people here to help build up society, right? Which is different than a regular visitor. I mean, the country's open, right? The country's open for people to come. But I think when you start talking about repatriation, and you start saying that everybody shouldn't come, you're saying that those people who are going to come and expect it to be like the West and then go online and just complain. Maybe you shouldn't be here. Like maybe you should go back.
Right.
Because you're just going to keep hitting your head up against that wall. No, Doomso is back. You just deal with it. Get a generator or deal with the fact that the lights are going to be out. as opposed to screaming and cussing that the lights went out. Like, it's going to happen. There's nothing that you can do about it. So I don't know if there are specific character traits or specific things for the people who shouldn't come other than, anything that's not godlike, right? I mean, people are going to have challenges. People are going to have issues. So you can't say, ask somebody these 5 questions and then based on these answers, they shouldn't come. But I think when you start talking about repatriation, when you start talking about policy legislation, you start talking about citizenship, who you awarded to and who you don't. I think you just got to be clear about, I think the country has to be clear about what the profile is of the kind of people that they're looking to become citizens and what that means. And I can't say that they've done bad. Like the previous administration, over 1,000 people got citizenship. The current administration just did one citizenship run, and we haven't had any reports like that I've seen about, any horrible things that any of these people have done, like in the country. So I think that, I just feel like you got to have a process. You just can't open the floodgates, because if you open the floodgates, then you're going to have a problem.
Right. You get overwhelmed. If you do have any final message for people who have tuned in and has been listening to us talk and this podcast, what would that message be?
Well, I would say that, number one, I hope you go back and watch my first 2 interviews here on Webnation. I would have you, if you haven't visited Ghana, and you're interested in visiting Ghana, then you can go to our website, www.theadinkergroup.com, schedule a discovery call, and let us help to try to bring you here. And if you're interested in repatriating to Ghana, if you're interested in potentially moving to Ghana, you can go to my Instagram at TheReal901, or you can go to our website, www.blackstarcenter.com, schedule a call. Reach out to us if you're interested in partnering or having more conversations. Just reach out to us because we're here. Ghana, we there. We're not going nowhere. We're still building. We're still developing. So I'd like to thank all your listeners for always watching and running up the views. But definitely reach out if you're interested in having a repatriation consultation. I have another call called Pick My Brain, where people can just get on the phone with me and run ideas by me that they may be thinking about. But I would say definitely reach out, get with us, get with our team, and let us either help you have a memorable experience for 8 to 10, 14 days, or give us an opportunity to have a call with you to help you get your plan together if you want to repatriate and move.
I like that. Do you think, let me put it this way. Has this journey, you coming to Africa, building a new home here, being a king here, a chief here, building your own empire, has all this been worth it for you?
I just had this conversation the other day, and there's a quote that says, "The journey is the reward." And there was something else that we were saying the other day, that everything works until it stops working. Right. What I can say is that I'm extremely grateful for the opportunities that I've had and how reconnecting with Africa has changed the trajectory of my life. In terms of giving me what I believe is a high-level purpose and clarity around why I was born, when I was born, and why I'm living at the time that I'm living. I pray that the future continues to hold me up well, and that I treat life well and life treats me well. I am very clear and confident about where I am in my life right now. One thing that I will say is that what I do plan to do in the next 5 to 10 years is probably to begin to travel back and forth to the United States a little more. When I first started, I was coming back and forth a lot. And then I'm like, okay, I'm here in Ghana. So I'm building, I'm creating. And now it's about time for me to start going back and forth again, bringing more people over and just kind of helping them fully see what my vision is for what I'm doing here and how I'm building out this town of Yame-Betre. So that before I die, I want people to be able to say, yo, there's a small town in the eastern region where this guy named 901, a.k.a. Nana Kwabena Duku I, set foot in, and he helped to grow a town that had a population of about 1,200 people to about 15,000 to 20,000 people. He put up buildings, structures, helped with the roads, helped all of the kids get into college, created a place for young African Americans from the U.S. to come there, to spend time, to learn the culture, right? That's what I'm looking for, is to be able to continue to build and live my legacy.
I like that. Thank you so much for talking to me.
As always, my brother. You're welcome.